Hi, it's Lulu, compulsive overeater. I'm here again with Shalece, and we are going to touch on the next promise, which is entitled Our Fears Decrease. The ninth promise strikes down unwarranted fear. It states, fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. Since courage has been described as fear that has said its prayers, I love that. Courage has been described as fear that has said its prayers. We become accustomed to praying for God's will for us. The insight this brings convinces us our fears come from within ourselves, not from others. We will no longer have to be defensive or blame people, places, and circumstances for what we do or say. We will discover we may have become our own worst enemy, but we don't have to be this way. It is rewarding to make and keep friends instead of antagonizing everyone around us because we fear confrontations. We used to be quarrelsome drinkers, unaware that anger often covered fear. In sobriety, decreased fear reduces envy, low self-esteem, resentments, and feelings of rejection and frustration. In AA, we lose our loneliness, our starting point for fear of others. We can find love and trust in new friends who remind us everything is going to be all right. This too shall pass. Things will get better and better. Involvement with others is the magic that dissolves fear. Where there is unity, there is no room for conflict. There are no strangers in caring and sharing programs, only new friends not met yet. In a fellowship of recovering addicts, we are all people who need people. Love in sobriety is demonstrated by wishing someone else well, being available, having interest in others, and sharing sympathy, understanding, kindness, honesty, and humility. The ninth promise also assures us freedom from the fear of financial insecurity. This does not mean we will be showered with possessions or become affluent. We will not always get what we want, but we will receive what we need to enjoy sobriety. Wow. Fear, my fear decreases. The fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. Now, just speaking of fears, we talk about the fears in the resentment on step 4 tab of this blog under resentment fear writing. We talk about these like the top fears that addicts have. The fear of not having control, the fear of losing control, the fear of losing what we have, the fear of other people's opinions, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of losing what I want, not getting what I want, and the fear of not getting what I need. Those are the 7 honkers. Those are the ones that are honking most addicts. I never really understood them to be fears. Like I was like, I'm not afraid of other people's opinions. I just want them to have a good opinion of me. I didn't think of it was like it was a fear. I'm not afraid of not having control because I have it and I should have it. It was like I remember when my sponsor was sitting down talking to me about fears, and I was just thinking, fears? What fear? I don't have any fears, I'll punch her right in the nose, if I had to, and, and I'm just like, I didn't even understand what just human emotional fear was. I didn't know I had a fear of not being good enough when I felt like I needed to be validated by a man. Like I didn't know. I just thought like, I didn't know I had low self-esteem, that low self-esteem was built into that. I thought I had high self-esteem. I thought I was great, It's just really interesting, the knowledge that I gathered about myself during this process. Like I just didn't even know myself. I didn't know myself. I was probably avoiding most of it because what comes up in the 4th step in my step work is just not all that pleasant, I will touch on economic insecurity. because that was a big one for me. So everybody usually has their big honking promise that doesn't come true. You're like, oh, I do. I have a new peace and I have a new freedom. And, self-seeking has slipped away and I will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest. Yeah. And, oh, yeah. And the feeling of uselessness and self-pity has disappeared. Yeah, that I can see that. I can feel that. So I'm feeling all these promises coming true for me as like Shalece said earlier in another recording. Uh, um, um, oh my God, I just drew a blank. What did you say? What did you say that I'm trying to remember?
I'm sure it was super wise and profound, something about the deep dark pit. I don't know.
Oh my God. You know something? This is so funny. I it was right on the tip of my tongue. And you know something? I don't have a fear of other people's opinions, so we don't even need to stop this and start over. Guess what? People forget shit. They just do. And oh my God, did I have a resentment against people that just couldn't remember shit, didn't have their shit together, and like, how could you forget and put it on your list? How can you have it on your list and not get it done? Well, guess what? Sometimes we just need a bite of humble pie, to get set ourselves straight. But anyway, there was something extremely profound that you said, and it will come to me. The biggest challenge waiting for these promises to come true and feeling a lot of them coming true and being really excited about them. But then there's one for all of us. And I see this with people I work with. There's like one, what's sticky for you isn't sticky for me. What's sticky for me isn't sticky for you. My sticky was the economic insecurity. Is it because I don't have money? Nope. Could it be because I would be, if I was poor? Yep. Can I be rich and have economic insecurity? Yep. If my thinking is not in proportion to reality, and I don't trust God, and I don't trust the universe that I always have what I need, I'm always going to live in lacking. I'm always going to feel like I'm lacking. It took me, I'm going to say, 5 years of recovery to fully feel like the fear of economic insecurity left me. What did that mean? It meant that after countless step tens about money, feeling like, okay, no, it's crazy for me to think that I'm not going to be okay with money. It's crazy. Oh, but I want to retire early. Oh, but I probably shouldn't because I have earning power. I probably should. Like, is that stupid not to? Am I being stupid? And it was just always going back and forth with things until finally one day, the light dawned on Marblehead. And I realized without a doubt that economic security has nothing to do with a number. Zero to do with a number. I could have $1 million and feel financially secure, or I could have $1 million and feel financially insecure. If the million really needed to be 2 million, just to be sure, then the 2 million would need to be 3. And then the 3 million would have to be 4, because I'm living with the fear of economic insecurity. So you see, the fear is what gives you all these ideas. Oh, I was going to say what it was my thoughts were not in proportion to reality when I was thinking about money. So I would therefore go into that. I would restored to sanity. A power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. So how was I going to get the same thoughts about my finances? From the power greater than myself that would restore me to sanity. It says it right there in step 2. So it was all about me growing my relationship with my higher power, because that's where all true happiness comes from. And what contributes to my true happiness is my growth with my higher power. In this particular case was my economic insecurity. I tell you it's a whole new life. I don't have a penny more or a penny less because it's not about the number. It's just not about the number. Like, who knew? Who knew? It's not about the number. It's a feeling of security. And I just know that however my future unfolds financially, I am just fine. I don't have to sit here today and worry about what nursing home I'm going to be in someday. And it better be a really good one where they don't ignore you and they take good care of you. You know something? I can be in one of the state ones. We'll have a good time. I'll have a good time there. And it's like, if people are mistreated in nursing homes, then maybe I'll be mistreated too. Like, why do I have to be somebody special? Right? I'll be fine because I have a close relationship with my higher power, and I don't have to feel mistreated in a nursing home. Just don't have to. And somebody might be listening to this that has somebody in a nursing home that's being mistreated. With all due respect to you, I'm not saying that this doesn't exist. I'm just saying that I don't need to live in fear of that. I don't have to live in fear of, like, where am I going to live? Sometimes I get these really crazy ass fantasies. This is in my decreased fear of economic insecurity. I thought, like, wow, what would it feel like to have nothing? Like, those people that live like paycheck to paycheck, like, what would that feel like? What a challenge that would be. And to trust God the whole time. And it's like, I just need to go find a really good cardboard box. Maybe I need to go to Lowe's, like a refrigerator came in it, so it's nice and thick and sturdy. So I have it really nice. And I would probably, I'm very resourceful. I could probably make a nice little house out of that. And with all due respect to anybody that's homeless, I have a whole new relationship in my mind and heart with homeless people. Homeless people were on my resentment list. They're just like taking up space on the sidewalk. They're a mess. They're nasty. They're dirty. They're begging. They're da-da-da. Go on and on and on. Oh my God. God bless me. And I just came to the truth. I don't have to be afraid of that. Afraid of them. They make me uncomfortable. I just got some of the best advice on that. Just give them a chance. Help them out. Maybe they're going to go to the liquor store with that money, but maybe not. Maybe not. Give them a teeny bit of power by, oh my God, my last years of working, because I worked right in the city of Boston, so there are homeless people everywhere. And I was having conversations with people. I was sitting down on their box with them. I was giving them money or not giving them. One guy, I was like, I don't have my purse with me. And he's like, oh, God bless you. And don't lose that smile. He yells across the street as I'm walking. And I was like giving him high fives and stuff. And, I can touch them. I can high five them. They're people. They look in their eyes, that's just fear of people. That's my experience with fear of people and economic insecurity. It's different for everybody. But, I just know those people that are all over the street living that way, they're fine. I'm not worried about them. I love them. They're God's children. And I don't think God's worried about them too, either, because they're all okay. We're all okay, and more money isn't going to do it. It isn't going to do it. Every day that you're here and that your outlook looks bright, and you take your fearful thoughts and turn them around, and you stay in a good space, and you figure out how you can be of service to others, to fit yourself to be of service to God and others. And you're rich. You're rich beyond belief. That's what I got.
Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. So one of the things that stuck out to me in the paragraphs that you read was the part that talked about unwarranted fear. And I just had to laugh really hard because probably 99.99999999999% of the fear that I experience is unwarranted. Like literally. Okay, that fear that you get when you're walking up to the edge of a cliff That's warranted. Okay, that's warranted. That fear that you get when you are in the wild of the and there's a lion chasing you, that's warranted. Okay. And all of that got sorted out through my fourth step. And my fear diminishes directly in proportion to the truth that I find. So there's a fear that I have, and when I look at it under a microscope, i.e., I take a 10th step on it, fourth step, whatever, I look at it, I get to decide, I get to find the truth with the help of my sponsor, because she knows how to do it. She's doing it, she's living it, she's finding it, she's digging for it. And dang, it's a lot easier to see somebody else's fears and lies than it is to see your own. So I think this is such a beautiful process of helping each other, because I basically get, as a sponsor, I get to show you your blind spots of those fears. And my sponsor she's my rearview mirror, you know, to see where these fears are unwarranted. So that deep, deep, dark pit that I experienced coming in, all of that was fear. All of it was fear. And one by one, just a little at a time, layer upon layer, those fears have just disappeared. And it's not like you just automatically come in, you get abstinent, and poof, your fear is gone. It doesn't work that way. This is a program of action. It's a program, not a program for people who want it. It's not a program for people who need it. It's a program for people who do it. So it's a program of action. If you follow the instructions and the suggestions that are laid out in the big book, you can experience this freedom too. You can experience the lifting of the fears. And again, for me, like, it's just one at a time. Like my first one was, I was afraid that I couldn't survive between meals. Oh my gosh, there's no way I could do 3 meals a day with nothing in between, one day at a time. That's an unwarranted fear. I just want to tell you right now. It's a lie. It's a false lie. Don't listen to it. Like, you will survive. And not only will you survive, but you will thrive. I was just talking with a friend who is here visiting me to experience and explore painting. When I let go of the food, all of a sudden I had all of this space in my head that I could explore other things like creativity. Oh my gosh. Once I got rid of the chocolate bars, there was room for creativity. But again, the process of going through and unraveling each of those fears one by one, taking that, you know, I basically knitted this ugly sweater of fear that I wore around for my whole life. And my sponsor was like, snip. And then we just started pulling on the thread, and each one, it just came unraveled, and I don't have to wear that ugly sweater anymore. It's beautiful. Yeah. So if you're feeling the fear still on certain things, like sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly with these promises, they come when they come. They come when you're ready. That fear of people for me is coming undone. That fear of economic insecurity, again, I couldn't agree more with what Lulu said. It doesn't matter what that number in the bank account is. It's not. It's the fear. That's the problem, not the number. So looking at each thing as it comes up, I'm not going to have enough for this. I'm not going to get that. Those are unwarranted fears. Those are fears. Like, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm not going to be able to do this and this. I'm a fortune teller. I don't know those things. Like, I'm not a good fortune teller. Actually, I'm pretty inaccurate with my fortune telling. But it's, again, just such a beautiful process. And I invite anyone who is still experiencing fear to take that first step of letting go of the food. Just let go. Let go. It's afraid. I can't let go. I can't let go because it's my best friend. It's a lie. It's a fear. It's unwarranted. unwarranted. Lulu, do you have anything else you want to add?
I did want to add something else. Like you were saying, this is a program of action. We work for this. Like, you don't, like it says, are these extravagant promises? Well, they really do seem like extravagant promises, but we think not, because they are being fulfilled among us. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. So it's work. Okay. So like, if you're wondering why these promises aren't coming true for you, it could be that you're not doing the work. I've heard it said once, oh, we're so sorry to hear that you're disappointed with the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. It's just like, hello, right? And, bringing that sponsor in and that other human being and having this fellowship, the fellowship where we can bounce things off. It's like, sometimes we're telling ourselves stuff and we don't know if it's like the voice of God or it's the voice of my disease. Like my voice of disease could kind of tell me that like chocolate is a vegetable, and so I can say to my sponsor, is chocolate a vegetable? Oh, okay. That was my disease talking, but to take that, you got this thinking and you got the voice of God, you got the voice of your disease. And it seems like it can be, most of the time, it can be clear where it's coming from. And the disease, which is the fear and lies, just find where it's not true. And then you'll hear the voice of God. And then sometimes that's what that other human being involved in your world, in this program, the role of a sponsor, is to show you the difference between the voice of God and the voice of your disease when you can't see it. Like, what did you call it? It was a good one.
The rear view mirror.
The rear view mirror. Yep. It's just kind of like, yep, been there, done that. It's behind me. It can be behind you too. Yep.